Here's what's coming into view on Elevating Denver for July 2024. Enter the ring with Denver firefighter Manny Lopez.
No matter how loud it is out there, it gets super quiet in the ring.
Take to the stage with an Elitch summer camp.
It's really fun to be able to perform on the stage.
Project Ignite provides firefighters insight and skills.
We want to make sure everything is covered, no piece of skin exposed.
These stories and more are just ahead on Elevating Denver.
It's like so crazy to think that like 130 years ago there were people sitting in these seats like watching other people do what we're about to do, and that it's just like kind of a hard concept to grasp onto.
It's surreal.
It's curtain time and away we go. Another opening of another show.
Woo! I think it's really just pretty and really cool to be able to perform on this stage.
I agree.
Where so many others have performed before.
I agree.
This building's really cool. It's old and it's just really pretty. Like, it's really fun to be able to perform on the stage.
First of all, the seats that we're sitting in right there, those are original. Those are the original seats from the late 1890s. This week is all about the historic Elitch Theater's first summer music theater camp, and we have kids here from 5th grade to 8th grade, and they'll be culminating in a performance of Tony Award-winning songs on Friday.
Back, side, front, back, side, front.
To have life back in the historic Elitch Theater is just, it's amazing. In 1991, with the 100th year anniversary, we did The Robber Bridegroom, and I was actually a part of that musical. So that was 33 years ago now, which is just amazing to me. And I've always loved this space. And I was like, you know what we need to do is bring the tradition of Mary Elitch, who loved children but never had any of her own, back to this space. So how better to do that except teach them music and theater?
We're standing where those awesome, amazing, famous people have stood, and that's an honor.
Yeah, it really is.
This place hasn't been used in like 33 years.
Other than playing
And it's amazing being able to perform on this 130-year-old stage.
Nothing that might be alone.
It's just so cool to be able to hear their young voices and to watch them dance and literally walk across the boards of the stage. It's a really cool feeling.
Whenever you walk into the dressing room, you feel like you were brought back in time, or like even when you just walk into this building, it feels like you're going back and like seeing how everything was when like a lot of actors and where like most of acting and stuff kind of started.
During the early years, all sorts of amazing people came, and Cecil B. DeMille, actually, who was the king of cinema and Hollywood, called Elitch's the cradle of American theater. And then in about, in the late 80s, fell into disrepair. The disrepair was massive, and a lot of people were saying that if it had even gone another year or so before the board took it over and really started renovating, it would have just been sticks on the ground. There were raccoons in here, there were little fox families in here. It's amazing what they've been able to do. For over 100 years, there wasn't even a foundation here. So they poured that foundation, they renovated the bathrooms, they've cleaned up everything. The stage is getting back to a place that is actually usable. We're still looking for funding, of course, but it's usable. And it's such a beautiful, wonderful place to be that I know a lot of people would like to come back and do theater here.
2, 3, the light, 3, and 2, 3, it shines.
This week we've learned a lot about like voice projection, how to, you know, sing better, but then also we've learned about like improv and acting. We've done monologues, and the show tomorrow is kind of going to be like a mix of like parts of songs, and then it's kind of all going to come together with choreography. It's going to be like really cool to do.
People just walk in here and they're just overcome with emotion and the legacy and the history of this place. And they just want to be a part of it. Somehow I belong here and I want to be a part of it, so let me perform. Let me walk up on that stage and be a part of the tradition and the excellence that has been this theater.
My name is Manny Lopez. I'm a Denver firefighter, also a professional boxer from Denver, Colorado. I've been a boxer since I was 5 years old, so I never thought about firefighting until I was 22, 23. My father was a boxer his whole life as well, and that's definitely what brought me to boxing. I saw him going to the gym every day, and then one day I was like, Dad, can I go? And he made me beg him, and then he was like, if I take you, I don't want to hear nothing. You be quiet. If you get bored, go hit the bag, go hit the speed bag. Stay away from me. I'm training for a fight. I said, okay. So I went to the gym and I found myself hitting the bag for like 18 rounds. Just fell in love with it. So it was kind of followed his footsteps a little bit. My ultimate goal was to be a 2012 Olympian. Olympian boxing is like score points. Throw a lot of punches, score points. A lot of headshots, because to make their head go back, you get a point. And professional boxing is you take your time a little bit. You could pick the fighter apart, the opponent apart, break him down, beat him, knock him out. There are a lot of knockouts in pro boxing. I didn't make the Olympics, obviously, but my style was more of a professional style. The transition, I mean, that time frame was between 2012 and 2019. I just did my best to fight. I fought at the Forum, the Mandalay Bay, First Bank Center, the Pepsi Center. I was just fought on ESPN a few times. When I became a firefighter, I kind of took a backseat a little bit so I could just focus on this. I've been a firefighter for 4 years now. The ultimate goal, if I put it all in one whole perspective, is to let the young kids know that you can do it. Like, I'm from this neighborhood in Marbella, and if I was to talk to any of these kids, I'm like, hey, you could still play basketball, you could still play football, you could still box, play soccer, and be a firefighter. You don't have to stop there. So that's a motivation for me to like be an idol for the kids. Anyone can tell you the same thing, any firefighter, this job is not the same. Every call is different, every fire is different, every cutter is different. We had an apartment fire, and when I went up the stairwell, my senior firefighter gave me the nozzle. He's like, you're leading the way. I'm like, oh, okay. So then I went up the stairs, and literally right when we went up the stairs, like there was zero visibility. In my mind, I'm freaking out. Like, I can't see nothing. I don't know where anybody's at. I can hear people yelling and screaming. I hear fire. I mean, I hear like the sounds of the fire. But that brought me back to the ring, like, just calm down. Like, you're gonna be okay. You see somebody else calm and collective, like, get yourself to that level. I'm gonna be okay. I'm not gonna die. I'm more excited to help people. Like, when I know that I'm able to make a difference in especially the children. When I'm able to make a difference with them, that excites me. Like, last shift we had a little girl who got hit by a truck, and there was a language barrier. I know a little bit of Spanish, but I was able to comfort her and help her. And when I put her into the ambulance, she waved at me by, and I was like, oh dang, like, that was cool. Those are the moments that I I like the most. Like putting out car fires and house fires and all that stuff is great. It's fun. You get an adrenaline rush, but for me, nothing is better than actually making a difference like that, because I'm sure that little girl is going to remember me when she goes back to school. Like, oh, there was a firefighter who helped me. Like, that's cool. A lot of things have happened since I became a firefighter that kind of opened my eyes to the sport. I love boxing. It was my first love. It's something that I've always done, I've always known to do. Leaving the sport of boxing is probably the toughest decision I've ever made in my life. There's been many tears that I've cried over this. Years initially, when I first became a firefighter, I thought this was gonna be it. This sport can't give me anything that I know is on the other side, and that's my family. This sport will take everything from you as you give it your all, and then if you have nothing, they won't give nothing back to you. And I have a career with the Denver Fire Department where I don't need this sport. I feel like I can give more to my community, and dedicate myself more to my community, save my health for the future. I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for boxing. But on the flip side, as a grown man, this is a poor man's sport. This is a sport where, you're fighting for your life. It's a sad and, bittersweet moment, but I'd rather me step away than the sport put me out.
Honestly, it's as a trainer, it's hard to see your guys, reach their last fight or find their retirement, whatever. But to be the coach that's in front of them for their last fight, for their final hurrah, there's really no better moment. It's a real good give back as a trainer. To get something back from the sport isn't something that always happens, and then when you can complete a complete cycle with one of your fighters all the way through, it's a very good feeling.
Going to this final fight, I'm just super excited, man. Very emotional. I'm just gonna, fight like my dad always told me. This is something my dad always told me since I was a little kid. You fight every round like it's your last round. Like, this is gonna be the last fight you're ever gonna fight. And I've always just kind of brushed it off like, whatever, Dad, you're just saying that so I could fight harder. But now with him saying that, it's been in my ear. This is actually my last fight. So going in there is like, it's gonna be very emotional, and I'm gonna give it my all. I'm gonna try to pull out everything I've ever learned since I was 5 years old. I'm gonna work on everything.
Ladies and gentlemen, I said it's time to grab your drinks. It's time to take your seats, because it's time for fight night! And ladies and gentlemen, he's gonna make his way to the red corner. You guys already know him. Let's get loud for Manny Lopez!
I would say the most electrifying moment in a fight is walking to the ring. I've been doing it for so long, I've been able to kind of calm my nerves a little bit, because I always talk to many coaches like, you're so relaxed in the back. I'm like, what am I gonna do? I can't pull out now, I can't go home now. The fight's here, so. And then once the bell rings, it's like, all right, it's go time. But I don't get nervous. Everything kind of just slows down and gets super quiet. No matter how loud it is out there, it gets super quiet in the ring.
I want to appreciate every single one of you guys coming out. My family for all these years since I was like 5, 6 years old. My dad was a world champion of the world. You guys started me for that same dream. My dad always told me when I was a little kid, fight every fight like it's your last. I never really understood what that meant until tonight. I gave everything that I got against a tough opponent. This was my last fight, so I really appreciate you guys coming out. I'm very emotional.
It was
what I'm most proud about. That's a tough question, man. I feel like what I'm most proud about is from being a boxer is the little accomplishments that I've made has fulfilled me to be a great father, a great husband, a great person. I feel that way. I feel like I'm a genuine person. I like to give back. I like to give to my community. That's my biggest accomplishment with boxing is what it created. You know, boxing will humble you and teach you humility and a heartbeat. And if you can't learn those, then boxing's probably not the sport for you. I would just say like the most important thing that we all need is like the support from family, your spouse, the members here at the fire department. Like that is like huge, because if you go home and you don't have the support, it sucks to try to do it on your own. Like there's just no way I couldn't do it without my kids, my wife, to help me get to the level that I've been at. You know, even before I was a firefighter, support from your family is huge, and I think that a lot of people would need that. And if not, you got to find that person or that group of people that will support you.
I originally moved here from South Florida. Please don't hold that against me, but coming to Denver was probably one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. Hi, my name is Joshua Caraballo. I'm an industrial organizational psychologist. What I love to do is dive deep into humanity, human behavior, studying it, understanding it, and helping people to do what's best in their life in order for them to flourish. And I do this through obviously science, but also through the arts. And it's really what's near and dear to my heart. And Denver happens to be a place to where I can just dive deep into all of that. And I feel great that I have access to all those things here in the city. I really fell in love with this place. Denver has given me so much. I met my partner here, and ever since I moved here, it's just been one thing after another that has kind of fed my soul, if you will, from the public parks to theater, the arts. I mean, you name it, the food, restaurants, the people. Well, not so much the driving, you know, that's okay. But the mountains, obviously, the outdoors. I mean, there's so many different things that just fill my heart with joy. And one of the things that has been a sticking point for me is I've been through a lot in my life. Survived cancer twice. I was abusing drugs and alcohol for quite some time. And I've actually been in remission for quite some time, so I'm okay. And also I've been sober for quite some time, since 2013. And I've always wanted to write a book about this, you know, do a memoir to share with other people about how I've been able to get through all these adversities in my life. But I've never been able to sit down and just write it. And when I moved here, things just started to click. And I know it's not just Denver, but Denver, in my mind, was a big part of this actually happening. Never was able to sit and start writing this until I came here. It's about just me coming to terms and being in a place in my life to where I can be really appreciative of all the things around me. There's something about Denver that you will not get anywhere else in the world. And I'm not pretending like I've been to every place in the world, but just from my travels and talking to other people, there's something about when you fly into this place and when you live here and you're coming back home, there's just a feeling that you get that you're so excited to be back here. And sometimes you don't realize that until you fly somewhere else. And then you realize, like, oh, there are parks here, but it's nothing like where I live. Or there are mountains here, like on the West Coast, but it's nothing like where I live. And I just keep going back to that. I cannot wait to see what happens in the future, because I know great things are coming to Denver. I can feel it, And I'm so proud to be a part of that. Thanks for having me, Denver, because I don't know, after this interview, you might want to kick me out, but just kidding. I'm really happy to be here, and I hope to be here for the rest of my life.
I didn't know any women firefighters before Project Ignite.
Project Ignite started at its origin as being a very condensed event just for women that were already in the recruiting process. In 2023, we realized that there was a need for support of women prior to even starting the recruiting process.
Each rig, whether you're on an engine or a truck, might look a little bit different.
There was just an insight of how an actual academy would be like.
So in 2023, Project Ignite was opened to be more expansive and allow any female that has any interest in becoming a firefighter to be able to come out and attend.
Go, just alternate, back and forth, walking.
I played professional soccer for about a year, and then when I was done, I decided to join the fire service. I have a lot of family in the fire service and always thought it was applicable to my background. I just wanted to be able to do something that was active and meaningful.
Before Project Ignite, I spent 15 years coaching gymnastics. A couple years ago, I told my husband, I was like, if I don't do this now, then it's gonna be too late. And I felt like I would regret it.
Over the past 2 years, we've had participants from all different kinds of backgrounds. We've had nurses, insurance agents, park rangers, and animal handlers with other departments come out and see if this is something that they might enjoy. I think that it's very important for young women, especially, to experience what firefighting might feel like physically, mentally, emotionally, before even getting into the recruiting process and getting into academy.
The feeling I had that day when I showed up for Project Ignite was excitement. There was definitely an energy in the room of just wanting to be there and show up and work hard.
It was super helpful. Coming into this, I don't think a lot of people know what they're getting themselves into.
Project Ignite consists of 2 days where we start the morning off with a group workout to show camaraderie, and just basically everything that we do in the fire service is as a two-person team. We never go anywhere by ourselves. And then you go through different hands-on stations to showcase our #1 most important, most common skills that you will learn later on in academy.
Time, no sleep, that's the way we grind, show up.
We did like search and through ladders, forcible entry.
We also got to stretch some lines and open a hose line, kind of like the classic firefighter picture that you would see of like flowing water and stuff.
Definitely was like 100% into it. I thought it was awesome to see all these really badass women on the job.
Part of leaving that weekend just kind of fueled me for the next step, and it put me in contact with other women that I could rely on if I had a question. They made it really clear that day too that they were here for anybody who had questions, whether you were on the fence or kind of unsure, or where I was sitting where it's like, no, this is where I want to be. Like, how do I get there?
Since Project Ignite, I went through the entire hiring process and I've gone through the academy. It's a dream that I've always had, so being able to actually do it is quite a big accomplishment.
It's very encouraging to see somebody that has started from day one at that event, never met them before, had never interacted with them before, and now to see where they're at as recruits and just about to finish academy, they're getting ready to walk the stage, and it's just this like massive, supportive feeling that I have like as an older sister almost, that they have gotten through everything that basically we talked about a year and a half ago and went through all of the steps for, and that they're getting ready to walk out onto the streets as firefighters and But I'm excited for them to come out on the streets and challenge me, because they are that caliber of individual that they're going to push not only themselves, but everybody else around them to be better at what they're doing and to be better at the job in general.
It's a really cool opportunity to be able to push yourself every day, and you grow a lot throughout the academy personally, and there's bonds that you make that you'll have for the rest of your career, so it's an opportunity to grow.
Go for it. I mean, you don't have anything to lose. You show up and you do as much as you want to try to do, and you're encouraged to be able to take more reps if you want it or ask more questions. It really is an opportunity to figure out, like, is this for me or is it not? And I think there's also strength in that too.
Stay elevated by subscribing to the city's YouTube page for these stories and more. And stay tuned to our social media channels for more content. Don't miss our new episodes of Elevating Denver, premiering each month. Thanks for watching, Denver.